Hi, I'm here with Nancy Covert. I really appreciate you taking the time to join um, with me today. And so let's just jump right in. So
Thanks.
just tell me about how you got started in business, and just tell me about how you got started in business in general.
Yes, well, absolutely. So I started actually with Dale Carnegie at a really young age, and I started when I was 23 years old. I had taken a college class, and in this business class, we read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Okay.
And our professor advised us if we wanted to be successful that we needed to take a Dale Carnegie course. So I had been going to school in Illinois, but I had moved to Phoenix, Arizona. And so I looked him up in the phone book and found a local office. I signed up, and about halfway through the program that I was registered for, I was hooked, and I knew I really wanted to be part of that business. And so they groomed me along the way. I've had the classic started at an entry level position, and I worked my way up to business owner.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
so at 23, you're in what were you planning to do before then? Like, were you on another path?
Well, I'd always enjoyed sales. That was something that was really my sweet spot. I'd done sales jobs when I was in high school and college, and I'd had some just like 6-month jobs where I was a leasing agent or selling commercial fabric. So I had done all of those types of sales roles, support sales, as well as in-person sales, but I'd never done business to business sales. And that's what I hired on for when I joined Dale Carnegie.
Okay. So tell me about what you're doing right now.
What am I doing right now?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, currently I'm the franchise owner for Dale Carnegie in North and Central Alabama. And what we do is we partner with organizations and we help them to develop their very most important asset, which is their people. And some of the things that we see that they struggle with is making sure that they develop leaders that are retaining the talented workforces that they have, because we know that people are looking outside of their jobs. Many of them are trying to find something different. And so we want to help them develop the leadership skills that makes their people want to stay and not join that great resignation that we're seeing all over the place.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me this. So you said you were already involved in sales and it seems like you liked sales. What was the transition like going from a salesperson? I know it's everything is sales, right? But uh, when you only had to focus on sales to actually running a business.
Yeah, so I'm really fortunate because in my job, I do primarily delivery of training as well as sales of training, and I'm the franchise owner. So I get to like juggle and wear all of the hats. But I honestly couldn't run our business without the help of my husband. My husband is the CFO, the CTO. He is the person that's in charge of kind of all the things behind the scenes. And so, as any leader, you have to have a great team. So he helps me with a lot of the day-to-day operations that I can't do because I can't be in too many places at one time.
Okay. And it seems like you said that was at 23. So you only been in business, what, like 3 years now?
I've been with Dale Carnegie for 36 years. So
Wow.
yeah, I started when I was 23, and I think I was one of the youngest employees they ever hired.
Yeah. So over that span of time, I'm sure you have dealt with a lot of different climates as far as economic climates and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Uh, what has been some of the biggest challenges you face?
Well, it's interesting because with Dale Carnegie, we are constantly reinventing and changing ourselves so we stay successful and competitive. And so just when we get to that point where we've got everything under control, it's a new change. And so during COVID was probably one of the most rapid changes that we had gone through. We started our digital transformation a while ago before COVID. And because of COVID, it accelerated the digital transformation that we've had. So all of our programs for 100 years had been delivered in person. And about 10 years ago, maybe now 12 years ago, we pioneered the live online learning industry. So Mr. Carnegie pioneered the workplace learning industry in 1912, but about 12 years ago, we pioneered the live online space. And so we were the first training company to do training live on Zoom or WebEx and doing training with an instructor-led virtual platform. So that just accelerated during COVID.
Okay, okay. And you mentioned the Great Resignation. Tell me, like, if you're talking to business owners from your perspective, what do you think is the best way to retain employees?
Yeah, well, all of the things that we're hearing and reading and seeing is the manager's role in making sure that the employee doesn't leave. And so if the manager can develop the skills that they need to be successful leaders of people, then the people won't leave their companies that they're working for. And prior to COVID, we did a survey, we did a thought leadership, actually white paper on leadership blind spots. And it's even more true today after COVID. One of the things that we found is that many leaders, there's gaps. There's gaps in, they think they're really good at giving appreciation and they're not. And so they rate themselves highly, but their employees go, nope, I don't get enough recognition. Another thing that there was a gap in is in their ability to admit they're wrong. And being able to admit they're wrong takes a lot of courage. So that's one of the gaps. Some of the other gaps were in listening skills, being able to, they say they think they're a good listener, but their employees don't think they're a good listener. So these are some things that we help leaders with so that they can retain that valuable team and that valuable employee. So we've been helping a lot of leaders. And there's a big gap when you have a great contributor and you promote them to leader, you've lost the great contributor. And if you don't develop them to be a good leader, they're going to get frustrated and then they're going to leave and you've lost two huge roles in your organization. So that's another area that we're really helping companies with.
Awesome. And you said helping companies. So tell me this. When I know you guys do more than just a training, but when people put their when management or owners put their managers in training, how what's some best practices around them not just going to that training, taking in that information, and then going right back to doing business the way they always did?
Yeah, absolutely. So they call that stickiness.
Mhm.
Stickiness means, it sticks with you, of course. And so we have been, again, pioneering the workplace learning industry. So Mr. Carnegie knew that people don't learn in a one-time type of training session. And so we believe that any kind of training is a journey. And all of our training starts off, first of all, with discussions with the senior leadership team around the organization's goals, their vision, mission, some of the things that are going on currently. Then they choose the people that will help them to achieve those goals. And with those individuals, we start off our journey with them understanding their own individual needs. And then our actual training journey starts. We start off with an awareness session where we bring people together to build camaraderie, help to set some goals and expectations for the program that they're going to be attending before the actual training event ever occurs. And then most of our training events are occurring over a period of time because learning takes time. It doesn't happen just in one day. So they are introduced to concepts, fundamentals, and practices, and then they go out and work on them in their job and with their personal life. And these programs take place over a period of 8 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, just depends on the program that they're attending. And then we do a sustainment meeting, which means we'll meet with them after the training is over with. We'll do a training program that helps them to sustain what they learned in our in-person experiences so that the stickiness factor works and stays.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how are you able to translate the value of that training in this climate where it seems like maybe it's a generation that doesn't their loyalty to a company is not as strong as maybe past generations where they're more about experiencing, moving along, experiencing different things and being more mobile.
Yeah, I think there's a cartoon that says, what if we train them and they don't stay? And then the other person says, what if we don't train them and they do stay?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a ironic and a catch-22. So, one of the things that we try and do is we measure the return on investment while they're in the program. So we look at things like, how do they increase the efficiencies between departments because they have good people skills? Or how do they retain particular types of employees, like calming them down or dealing with conflict? So making sure that we retain the current team so that they don't leave and jump ship. Or in our sales programs, how many more clients do they bring in? Or how do they speed up the sales cycle time? Or in presentations, what kind of impact do they have when they're standing up in front of a group and motivating or persuading? So we try and take a look at it, what we can control, the time that they are employed there. And I think that, it's normal that people are leaving companies. We're trying to give them the tools so they want to stay and they look at their employer as a person who's growing and developing them, because that's also one of the reasons that many people leave, if they don't feel there's a career path or a growth opportunity for them.
Yeah, okay, so let me ask you this. Have you found that employees that are trained properly, even if they leave, if does the experience they have affect how they leave? Like if they feel like they were appreciated and poured into, if they give their 2 weeks notice, or they give them longer notices, or they refer their friends, or they backfill the position before they leave.
Yeah. I don't really have any data on that. Honestly, most of all the people that we work with stay with their companies. So I don't really hear that, or they get promoted. And, if I know that it's a promotion they're going for, of course, I support the individual in that. And usually people, they stay because they feel appreciated and feel like they've been growing.
That's awesome. So what size businesses do you guys work with?
Our sweet spot is anywhere between 50 and 500 employees. But many of our best customers here in Alabama have much more than that size as far as employees goes. For example, Alabama Power, we work with Mercedes-Benz. So many of these customers have, thousands of employees. So we work with just about any size company.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I'm gonna take you back to when you were 23. Would you and it seems like things all kind of fell in place, and you're still going in that same path. But would you have done anything differently as it pertains to business? You could go back in.
So, I don't know if I'd change anything. I got some really good advice from my grandfather, but he was a Dale Carnegie graduate. I didn't know that when I joined the company, but he told me some really good advice. And he said, if you stick with the company, they'll stick with you. And so I think that a lot of times people get frustrated and they think that, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. And I've just found that, although we have challenges in our jobs, that we need to just be true to our companies, because if we believe in the mission, if we believe in what we're doing, if we're having fun, that's what life's all about. So if you've got those things, why jump to someplace else? Because you don't know really what it's truly like at that other organization. So his advice really helped me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you got a lot of books back there. It seems like. Tell me, if you had to give one book to a business owner, what book would that be? Other than the Bible or anything like that?
Well, I'd have to say How to Win Friends and Influence People. It is the second best-selling book of all time, behind the Bible. Yeah. And, all of the principles are principles that help you to be successful in leading your team, successful with your family. And, those things are the most important things. Okay. So that would be my favorite book. I have a few of them. Oh, I guess it'd be on this side.
So last question. Yeah, sort of like that. But what's some quotes that have been very impactful in your life?
Quotes.
It can be some Nancy quotes, some things that you.
I have a lot of favorite quotes from Dale Carnegie are a lot of them. We use those because we own the copyright and we can use those. And so sometimes in our programs, we hesitate to quote outside of our program because we don't really own the rights to those. But, I'm a huge Simon Sinek fan. I think that he is amazing. Brene Brown, she's amazing. I love perspectives that they have. And, there's so many really great books out today about leading change and leading in this digital environment. There's a lot of fans. I have a lot of books that I'm a really big fan of. So
Yeah, I can tell.
I like to read.
I can tell. So, so this has been an awesome interview, and it seems like you've been on a path of success and helping businesses succeed for a long time now. And it seems like you said you wouldn't go back and change anything. So it's been great. If you don't mind, tell this goes out to business owners, how they could contact you, what it is that you said your target market, I think already, but just how they can contact you and how they can utilize your services.
So they can, pick up the phone, and our local number, I'll give you my cell phone because that's the easiest way to reach me. It's 256-679-8747. Or you can type in Google Dale Carnegie Birmingham, we'll pop up. I get a lot of messages through LinkedIn. That's how we met William. People on Facebook message me. So I have a real big social presence. We have Dale Carnegie Birmingham's Facebook page as well as our LinkedIn page. And you'll see if you Google us, we have over 100 and I think 20 5-star reviews from class participants that tell about their experience. So you can check us out there, and they put their names out. You can reach out and call them and ask them their experience. So
that's awesome. Like I said, thank you, Nancy. It's been
You're welcome.
so delightful talking to you.
Yeah, it's great to talk to you too. Thanks.